Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much, Dr. Rashid. I'm very happy to be here, and after all the talks, inspiring talks, I'm talking about something very important to everyone, and the most important asset. So just like to welcome you and ask you first, why are you here in such an amazing Congress? Why are you here? Think about it. If you don't want to share it with me, just think about it. Because I think you are here because you want your brand to stand out. Am I right or wrong? Maybe, yes? And where does your brand start? Let me ask you, where does the brand start? Your brand is what other people say about you when you're not in the room. Do you agree? My specialty is innovation and creativity. I have been researching how the mind works for so many years. For over 25 years, I'm still doing my doctorate in the same field of how this amazing brain works. How do we learn? How do we look at things? I have 7 years experience in advertising. My MBA is in marketing. So I love marketing. I love branding. And it's not a game. It's a very serious play, let's say. It's a play, but it's a very serious play. And if we don't understand how we do it, we will lose. And the most important thing for us is to use what we have, which is our brain, and which is how we think and how we develop ideas, and to always be on our toes, to always think of what might the future bring. Hence, mind mapping is also a tool. It's one of the creativity tools that you can use for innovation. Let me warm you up. I know you're looking forward for the break, but I want you to think a little bit since I'm the thinker person. So let me ask you, if you have a pen and a paper, just draw this figure, okay? Just draw this figure. I give you 2 minutes to think about how to draw further on this figure. Make a story. Make it yourself. Create something, anything, and think about a scenario for this creation. Can you all participate just to wake up your brain a little bit? Activate it. Just anything that comes to your mind. Fill the dots. Just make a story out of it. Create something. If you want in your mind, yes? Future door. I like that. Nice. Very nice. Pillar of strength. Okay, somebody fill further in this pillar, yes? Oh, Petra. Yeah, you've been to Jordan. Okay, great. So, anybody filled it further? Anybody? Happiness, like that. So you see, what is happening? What is happening? What did happen when these ideas came to your mind? You saw things. Did you in? Yes, you saw, you look at something that is a vision, right? A visual experience, something from the past, something you aspire to, you know, like something that makes it very special to you. It brought probably in Petra, it brought you some really happiness. It's something everybody wants to. So what happened in our mind is that we saw pictures, right? Did you look at an essay? No, you have seen a visual. And if we want to look at things, and if we want to create the future, because we are all talking about the future, we need innovation. And to need innovation, we need to be constructive thinkers. We need to use the most important asset that we have, which is our mind. So innovation is about value creation. So what is the most important brand that you have? What do you think? What's the most important brand? But what's the most important thing that you have? It's you, right? To build that bridge, you cannot do it without you. And you have the most important asset. What is it? Who said brain? Yes, I heard few saying brain. Absolutely. But the question is, do you know how your brain works? Do you know how valuable your brain is? Did you put a price for it? Are you taking care of it? Okay, so just want you to tell you briefly is that, do you know how big is your brain? Anybody? I'm not talking about the size. I'm talking about the ability. I'm talking about brain cells in specific. Anybody knows how many brain cells we have? It's millions of millions. And this is how the brain cell look like. Anybody knows how? Have you seen that before? I'm sure all of us have gone in biology at one point. Some of us are doctors, so this is how the brain cell works. And the most important thing about the brain cell is that it works through connecting to another brain cell. And this is very important. So I want to ask you, your brain ability is, by the way, do you know what's your brain ability? Is it limited? Do you feel limited in your brain ability? Great. Your brain ability is infinite, but I want to tell you something. Do you know how much, on average, research tells us, how much in percentage our brain ability we are using? On average. 7%. How much? 1%. Wow. 1%, 3%. 3%. On average, it's 1%. On average. I mean, some of us can be more, some of us can be less, but imagine, I want to tell you something. The good news is that with 1%, we are being that much, have achieved that much, we're doing so much in our life, right? Imagine if it's 0.1% increased. Why is this? Because we relied so much on our technology. And we limited ourselves. The most creative human being on earth, you know who's the most creative person on earth? You, when you were a child. When you were a child. And what happens? We grow up, we become adults, and we say, no, we shouldn't think on pictures. No, we shouldn't use colors. No, right? We should limit our imagination. So it is our own limitations, absolutely.